Well, everyone, we've had a good run. Been a long 50 years, but hip hop may officially be dying. At least that's what we can gather if we're to believe Lil Yachty. Because in an interview with Rolling Stone last month, he mentioned that hip hop is in a terrible place. There's a lot of imitation, a lot of songs sound the same, no one's really experimenting. This is an idea that he further doubled down on his Safe Place podcast recently, where he mentioned that even record labels aren't really putting that much money into hip hop artists anymore because fans aren't consuming that content. If you're like me, you may have looked at these headlines and thought to yourself, wait a minute, Lil Yachty, you're saying all these things, but aren't you part of the problem? Aren't you part of the reason that hip hop is in this decline? And, while that may be true, there are other things to look at. Over the past 50 years, hip hop has spent a lot of that time as one of the most popular genres. And because of that, you're going to get a lot of emulation. And it's even more so in the last maybe 10, 15 years because anyone with a computer and a microphone can put out tracks and put out music. And, not everyone is going to go out of their way to make something unique or new. A lot of people are going to be emulating what's popular or what their favorite artists are doing. So you are going to get a lot of songs that sound the same. Now, it will get to a saturation point where we can't really differentiate between different artists anymore, and I think that's what we're starting to get to, or at least what Lil Yachty is alluding to. But it takes time. I don't think we're necessarily there yet, but it is something that I've been aware of for the last 10 years. People all kind of gravitate towards one sort of sound and then realize, okay, this sound is full, let's go somewhere else. It's not necessarily that hip hop as a whole has gotten to a point where we can't come back from. This is a pretty normal thing. And there's always going to be people who are going to argue that hip hop is dead because people aren't really rapping anymore. There's no lyrical miracle stuff. And to those people, shut your mouth hole. You're not looking. There's enough people who do that sort of music. But there's also people who are like, I don't want to listen to lyrical miracle rap. Then there's stuff for you as well. There's many subgenres in hip hop, whether we'd like to acknowledge it or not. And it's super wide. And because it's one of the most popular genres and pulls from so many other genres, it makes sense. So, there is going to be certain music that everyone likes. I think what Lil Yachty is more alluding to, though, is the general popular music in terms of hip hop. The popular sound is all very similar. And he's saying, people aren't experimenting, probably because he put out his psych rock album this year, saying, Let's Start Here. And that is entirely different from what he put out before. But that's not even a hip hop album. I wouldn't consider it to be one, at least. It's definitely a psych rock album and more in that lane. Now, he is a hip hop artist who did that, so you could consider it hip hop. Going further, Lil Yachty is also the person who was saying that Drake's album, For All the Dogs, is some of the best work he's put out, and he's super excited about it. And I think he was part of the reason that it sounded like it did. And that was awful. But also, is anyone surprised? Going back to the idea of hip-hop being popular, and particular sounds and types of songs being popular, the reason Drake hasn't shifted from the sound that he's been doing for the last 10, 15 years is because that's what sells for him. People listen to Drake for that particular sound, just like they listen to all these other artists. Now, it does kind of suck for artists who do want to evolve and change their style over the years because, you got to risk losing out on fans, losing out on sales, whatever. But, sometimes it's the risk that you got to take if you want to expand and grow as an artist. Now, there's other things involved with this, such as just label stuff, where labels are like, no, just do the more popular stuff, and that's why we get all these super bloated albums of just the same song. But I think at the end of the day, yes, we do need more experimentation, but we also need that experimentation to be pushed. Yes, it is a risk, but it is a risk that people in hip-hop need to take. I mean, I know of a few groups who are being a little more experimental, and I will talk about this in my next video, which actually was kind of touching on some of this stuff anyway, where I will talk about just the state of hip hop going into 2024 and what we can expect then. But those groups are pushing different sounds and different genres and like mixing genres into hip hop, which I think is kind of the direction we're going next. Like hip hop, again, has always taken and borrowed from other genres. That's what sampling is about, right? But it always comes back to making it hip hop at its core. I don't know what it's going to sound like. I don't know what Lil Yachty expects as far as experimentation. He's in music, so he definitely can see more than I can, I would think. He can see what other artists are doing and see what more experimental hip hop is. So whatever he thinks that experimental hip hop is, great. We just kind of got to wait and see. I don't think that hip hop's in a bad... Well, okay. Hip hop isn't in a great spot, but it's not a spot that we can't recover from. Hip hop has always had like these highs and lows. It's typical. I think we are about due for another like summer 2016. I think that's going to come maybe next year, maybe the year after. But we got to wait and see. Anyways, those are just some thoughts I had because I saw that headline again and I was like, what the fuck you talking about, Lil Yachty? You let Drake put out that dog shit album. Anyways, let me know in the comments below what you thought of Lil Yachty's thoughts. And stay tuned for the next video where we discuss more of next year and other stuff because it is the end of the year. There's a lot of stuff to touch on with music and just recaps. So, yeah, like, subscribe, comment, and thank you for watching. And please stay safe out there.